I went on a date recently 7 months ago, and toward the end of the date, my suitor was like, "Can I kiss you?" And I was like, "I don't know. Oh, this is why I'm alone."
We visited America's favorite comedy clubs and found America's best comics, and then edited out all the crappy stuff. You're welcome. This is Laughs. Welcome to Laughs. I'm your host, Taylor Tomlinson, and if you're tuning in to watch Saved by the Bell reruns, sorry, we're on instead. And those episodes really don't hold up the way you think they would. Seriously, just trust me on this. Let's get to the show.
I want to make more money. I want to make enough money that, like, if you borrow money from me and you don't pay me back, we can still be friends. That's how much money I want. Right now, if you borrow money from me and you don't pay it back, you can borrow $35 from me and don't pay it back, and we're not friends anymore. Like, you can call me up, like, "Yo, you gonna come to your nephew's birthday?" I'm like, "Listen, bro, it's $35, it's $35. You ever hear one of your friends give somebody money and you're like, "How much money does this dude have?" You ever hear one of your friends, he's like, "Yo, man, I let that dude borrow like $8,000. He ain't paid me back yet. I'm gonna let him get me one more time and that's it." And the whole time I'm like, this dude got $8,000 to give? I can't even hear the rest of the conversation. The whole rest of the time I just hear, "If you need money, just come to me and I'll give it to you." I'm like, I'm better friends with him. I can get $15,000 from this guy.
Being a new parent, you don't know what you're doing. So you take stuff from, your parents. So like my dad was always on power trips. I'm not gonna be on a power trip. I don't care like that. He was always on power trips. Hated when we asked our mom for anything. Hated it. I went to a party one time, I didn't tell him. I asked my mom, she said it was cool, right? I come home, it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm trying to sneak in the house, be real quiet. All right, I open the door. All of a sudden the lampshade clicks on. He's just sitting under the lampshade petting a cat. But we didn't even have a cat. I was like, "Where did you get this cat from?" He had a monocle in, he looked like a villain. I was like, "What are you doing?" It was weird, right? And he's sitting there. He was like, "Where was you at, boy?" I was like, "Oh, I went to a party." He said, "Who said you can go to a party?" I was like, "Mom." He said, "Who the hell is Mom?" I was like, "Mom, the lady you sleep with, Mom." He was like, "Let me tell you something, boy." He's like, "I'm gonna tell you this one time and one time only, all right? I don't give a..." "I don't give a damn what your mother says. Okay? This is my house. If you wanna do anything in this house, you run that by me. She ain't got no say-so." And I was like, "Why are you whispering?" He was like, "Shut the hell up, man. You trying to get us busted?" And I was like, that's how I learned how marriage works. That's how I learned how it really works. That guy he didn't run nothing, man. He didn't run nothing.
When you get married, you do things like move in together. That's what we did. That's what happened. We moved to an up-and-coming neighborhood. Up-and-coming is a nice way of saying great house in a really terrible part of town, right? Just crown molding, stab, stab, stab. That's where I live. And I like it because, it keeps it exciting. I was walking down the street the other day. A homeless guy stopped and asked me for change while he was talking on an iPhone. And I was like, "Sir, I'm sorry I don't have any change. Here's where it gets interesting." He has the best tagline I've ever heard. He's like, "Don't sweat it. I take credit." Sold. So I hand him my credit card. This is where it gets embarrassing. My credit card declines. Now I have a homeless man giving me financial advice. I was like, "Sir, you live in a box." And he was like, "Bitch, I own my box." Now I follow him on Twitter.
Last show I worked on was a little show called House Hunters. Are you guys familiar with this show, House Hunters? Yeah. In case you haven't seen an episode of House Hunters, I'll tell you about every episode. You get a basic white couple, and they all want the same three things: an open concept, an all-white kitchen, and for their broken marriage to suddenly work. And we all know they're not getting that third thing. So open concept house, they don't want walls, they don't want, you know what gets me is the all-white kitchen. That's what's really weird though, is the all-white kitchen. Everyone wants an all-white kitchen, which is like a harmless request enough, except for when you get those couples that are, I'll put it to you this way, a little bit too enthusiastic about a plantation-style house. That lady is a little bit too jazzed about that lawn jockey. You get what I'm saying, folks. Suddenly that all-white kitchen takes on a horrifying new context, and you're just hearing them go like, yeah, I just want a nice all-white kitchen. Nice, clean, white cabinets. Crisp, bright, white, Caucasian countertops is what I'm looking for. Yes, that's what I want. And like just once, I want like a Black Panther power couple to roll through House Hunters. Just once, like black leather gloves, afros, screaming at the realtor like, we want an all-black kitchen. Onyx and obsidian as far as the eye can see, you white devil. Like, and there's like a portly realtor out on the front lawn going, I was really intimidated by Hakeem and LaQuanda's requests, but boy, was I exhilarated. Like,
you guys can see me. I am what they call a BBW. Does everyone know what that expression means? Okay, just a few people who hook up on the internet. Good for you. For the rest of you, BBW is an acronym. Stands for Big Beautiful Woman, something we came up with because we were having a real branding problem. You know what I'm saying? So we got in the lab, came up with BBW. I think it's an okay acronym. I personally prefer to identify as a plus-size hottie, a PSH, a psh, if you will, rolls off the tongue, and does it ever. Okay, this is just what, like I'm just a larger, I've got that, you know, pear shape because I've got a big old caboose, which is fine. That's why my train's so slow. I've got a big old butt. My butt is not supposed to be this big. Something like I'm white and Korean. Something happened. I just think if you eat enough food and listen to enough hip hop music, your body's like, I don't know, stack it out back. I don't know.
I like alcohol. I like all the alcohols. I do. I like them all, but individually. I don't like them together. I don't drink cocktails for a lot of reasons, but they're usually more expensive if you're out. I was at a bar in Hollywood one time. I got a cocktail. I don't know why. I don't know what was in the drink. Bartender hands it to me. He's like, that'll be $17. Yeah, $17. I was like, there better be 3 gallons of gas in there. Right? Yeah, Ty, what are you drinking? I'm like, regular, I think. A lot of us have that one friend who maybe had a bad night with tequila. They're like, I'm never drinking tequila again. You're like, oh, so you're sober? No, just tequila. Yeah, that's the culprit. I'm sure you do just fine with bourbon. Caffeine and alcohol, those are probably my only 2 vices. I never got into any hard drugs. Yeah. I feel like it's a personality thing. This is what I feel like it comes down to. I would rather hang out with a bunch of guys than a bunch of girls. And I know that's a weird leap of logic, and I'll explain it to you. Ladies, I love you, but I don't want to hang out with you in large groups. You're a bit intimidating, right? I can't be that emotionally available to that many people at one time. And that's my problem. But I can hang out with a large group of guys because guys are more casual, right? And that's the difference between drugs and alcohol right there. If you never thought about this, it's guys and girls. Every alcohol's a guy. Every alcohol's a guy. Next time you go in a bar, look at the bar top, right? Every alcohol's a guy. So if you go out for a night of drinking, you were hanging out with the fellas. Who is it? It's Jim, it's Jack, it's Jose, it's Captain Mo, Johnny Walker, Sam Adams, like 15 Glens, a couple of buds. It's all guys, right? But you go to a party, they got hard drugs. Who's there? Pff, Crystal, Lucy, Molly, Mary Jane. Yeah, that's a crazy ladies' night right there. Yeah, what's going on? Just getting the girls together. Come party with us. No, I don't know what's going on in that party. Lucy's staring off into the clouds. Mary's got the munchies. Molly's grinding against the couch. Crystal's in the corner scratching her face off. Forget that, I'll be back at the bar with the fellas.
I tell you what white people are the worst at isn't baby names. Worst. This is Daffodil and Willow Tree. Stop doing that. Stop doing that to your white babies. You're putting them at a disadvantage. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got one spot left on the basketball team and your two choices are DeAndre and Caleb, Caleb ain't making that squad. I told a joke that was across the line the other day, and I was leaving the bartender goes, "Hey man, you better walk out the back." I was like, "What?" He's like, "You better walk out the back. There's somebody in the parking lot waiting for you." I was like, "Who was it?" He goes, "I don't know." He said his name was Skyler. I was like, I ain't worried about no dude named Skyler. What's he gonna do, slap me with a sandal or fight? It's like it's 10:30 night. Skyler's a vegan. He's out of energy. We're good. Fine.
Okay, that's it. Break time. All right, you know the drill. Back here in 2 and 2. All right, go, go, go. Laughs will be right back.
There's specifically Indian dating sites out there, and there's one called Shadi.com, which we call Shady, okay? Shady.com. If you've ever been on it, and if you're interested in finding an Indian woman, get on Shady.com. It is a target-rich environment for Indian women, if that's what you're looking for, all right? And it's wild. If you get on there, it's just a sea of brown girls as far as you can go, all right? But every now and then, I would see a white girl on there. And it was weird. I'm like, is she lost? What is she doing on this site? Is she looking for tech support? Like, what is happening?
Hi, I am Taylor. This is Laughs, a TV show. That was a haiku. Here's the show. Was that good, or let's put some flute under that. I think that'll come out nice.
I just celebrated 3 years of living in New York, and I live in a neighborhood called Washington Heights. Anybody familiar with Washington Heights? All right, one, okay, cool. It's a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, and by predominantly Hispanic, I mean it's all Hispanic and me walking around. And I love it. I love everything about it. I love the food. I love the culture. My favorite thing, though, is the drug dealer on my block. The way he tries to sell me weed, I don't smoke weed anymore, but the way he tries to sell me weed is I walk by and he just goes weed, 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 weed. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Next day he's like weed, 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 weed. For 3 years, never bought weed off him. Finally, last week I'm walking by and he's like, coke, 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 coke. And I was like, Hector, did you get a promotion?
I'm having a weird week. I went to Jamba Juice the other day. I was standing in line. I had these young girls in front of me. Next thing I know, they were talking about me. One of the girls, she leaned to her friend. She goes, "He kind of looks like Justin Bieber." I don't really care until her friend was like, "Yeah, if he just had a stroke." Wow. I was like, I hope nobody ever asked you to prom. It didn't even bother me. What bothered me was when the girl who gave me the compliment was like, "I know, you're right." I was like, what are you doing, you backstabber? Can't take that back. Right when I felt myself start to get sad, my phone rang and it was my mom. I was like, are my emotions hooked up to her phone? She's back in Connecticut like, hold that thought, Diane. My son's about to cry. Let me... She's like, hey, man, I just wanted to see how you're doing. I was like, kind of good. I go, some girl said I look like Justin Bieber if he just had a stroke. Yeah, she didn't even hear the stroke part. She goes, I always thought you looked like Ellen DeGeneres. I was like, really? I always thought I looked like a man. Click. Done here. I was pissed. I was like, give me my Jamba Juice. I want to go home. Made the mistake. I chugged it, got brain freeze, which is terrible. Brain freeze feels like a ghost is just punching your brain repeatedly for 3 seconds. I read something online that, like, if you get brain freeze, all you got to do is put your tongue in the roof of your mouth, lean your head back, and count down from 10, right? So I'm standing in a crowded Jamba Juice like, 7, 6. And I heard the little girls from earlier say, Clarissa, you're a bitch. He did have a stroke.
Okay, friends, we have said too much. Let's take a break, get some me time, circle back. And by me time, I mean snacks. Laughs will be right back.
Being an adult sucks so hard, and you start to realize it with clues. Like, For example, as a kid, and I call 19 to 18. I know I went in reverse, but that's fine. When you buy a scratch ticket, you have thoughts of like, I'm gonna buy a scratch ticket. If I win, I'm gonna buy a Lamborghini and a house with 3 pools. What are we doing? What are we saying when we buy a scratch ticket when we're in our 30s? Aren't you really like, get me out of my life?
Welcome back. I'm your host, Taylor Tomlinson, and I am proud to present the most immature, offensive, inappropriate, mostly funny comedy in the world. Let's get some more laughs.
Been drinking a lot lately. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can get a DUI on a bicycle. Did you know that? But you can drink as much as you want on a motorized wheelchair. I learned that in the casino the other day. This lady drove right into the side of a slot machine. I thought she had a stroke, but then she started to laugh, so I started to laugh. She was like, I guess I'll just play this one. And that lady was my mom. I took my mom on a cruise earlier this year. She bought the unlimited drink package, and I am here to tell you guys that the cruise ship industry lost some money that week. My mom was like, let me get this straight. I can drink as much as I want, and if I pass out, a small Filipino man will carry me back to my room. Where do I sign up? It's gonna be the best vacation ever. They never cut her off. They're just like, here's another drink, stay away from the edges. That's all they said. Showing people pictures of the vacation, they're like, oh my God, your mom looks so happy. I'm like, she's not happy, she's hammered. They're like, well, how bad could it have been? I was like, well, for starters, my mom doesn't own a motorized wheelchair.
I saw the saddest thing as a single person the other night. I was watching late night TV, and they're selling this thing called the boyfriend pillow. Have you guys seen this? It is so sad. It's this headless torso pillow thing that comes with a pillow arm that you wrap around yourself and a dress shirt that you're supposed to put on it. First of all, a dress shirt, that's a little optimistic, right? In my case, it would be like a wife beater with mustard stains. If I'm lucky, that's who I'm meeting. How sad is that as women that this exists? This boyfriend cuddle pillow? That's depressing. But I feel like as a guy, that should be encouraging. Right? Like if you're a guy and you're having trouble meeting women, go hang out at the boyfriend pillow store. You will clean up. You have a leg up on everything. You have legs. That's better than what they're selling.
This thing, not over. Not even close, all right? Coming up, it's the last laugh. Welcome back to Laughs. We watched 437 comics this week, and this one is the one we picked to be the last laugh. Here it is.
So I'm a huge wuss. I'm a giant wuss. I found this out because I popped my lung sleeping. You know, taking a nap. I popped my lung sleeping, you guys. I mean, what's next? Like, I'm just gonna be one of those old men? Like, what do you got for me? Oatmeal? Put it in the blender. Do it. Can't have any sharp edges now. One isosceles Dorito, and they're gonna take me right out. I can't have it. So ridiculous. So yeah, I popped a lung, and I had to go to the hospital. And when I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and I was in there, one of the most horrifying things ever happened to me. I was in the hospital, I'm watching TV, and in my ear, I just hear, whee. It's a mosquito. It's a hospital mosquito. Do you know how gross that is? There's a blood-sucking critter loose in my room, and it's surviving by going from room to room, just enjoying the sampler platter of all human misery, taking everything it finds and stirring it up in its little bug belly, making a little Mersatini inside itself. And now it's floating around in my room like a loose syringe. And now it's just whispering in my ear like, they're gonna name this disease after you. All right, guys, that's been my time. Thank you so, so much. I've been Nariko out.
right, I'm gonna say it one time and then I'm done, okay? Best show ever. Yeah? I know. I'm Taylor Tomlinson, and we will see you next week. Hey, there's way more funny where that came from. Hit subscribe and we'll let you know when we post the good stuff. You like good stuff, right? It's good stuff.